a couple of chords we used to jam at sound checks. I remember doing it once at the Marquee. It's quite a weird song, it's got weird chords to it, and there's a fucking synthesizer on it, I heard today. I don't know who fucking snuck that in. We didn't even have a synthesizer, so I was like, listening to it today on the train going, who the fuck's playing that? But again, there's great lyrics. That's what I thought about that tune today. I took a walk with my fame down memory lane and never did find my way back. Some fucking great rhyming couplets on that tune. But it must have been one that I wrote before I got here, because there's a lot of lyrics to it. I don't know why it's called a swamp song. It was just a thing we would fuck around with. Comes in and out at a couple of points in the record. I was like, wow, that's fucking hell. Do you remember a band called Grant Lee Buffalo? Nobody does. So they're like an American indie band after grunge. But they were kind of, I'm not a fan, right? But they had this tune called Fuzzy. You can see that it's been a big influence on, some might say, I'll obsess about a song for years and I'll rip it off 12 times. I'll get fucking 12 different tunes out of it. Everything that I do is a nod to something or other. I'm not a genius. I'm a fan of music, do you know what I mean? Like Paul McCartney's a genius, do you know what I mean? And fucking Morrissey and Bob Dylan, and I'm just fans of theirs. I've got a good knack of, you know, putting shit together, but I'm not snob about where it comes from. I'll tell you. Nothing is original. There's only 12 notes anyway. As he faced the sun, he cast no shadow. Cast No Shadow is my, actually in my head, I believe I wanted it to sound like Pink Floyd, because it's the same chords as Wish You Were Here. The opening chords are the same. But like I said, I was listening to it today and it sounds a bit half-baked to me. It's kind of, there's a country thing going on, and it's kind of something it's kind of fallen in between two stylistic stools. But it's a fucking great song. You know, some of the best words I ever wrote in that song. Bound with all the weight of all the words he tried to say, chained to all the places that he never wished to stay. I mean, fucking hell, I have no recollection writing it, right? But when I heard it today, I was like, fucking hell, mate. Well done. You know, it's a great fucking live, you know. Profound even, do you know what I mean? And, yeah, again, just writing on instinct. On not really thinking about it, you know what I mean? And it's a shame it hasn't got a second verse. But when we were doing it here, Morning Glory, the Verve, or the Verve, whatever the fucking hell they were called then, I'd split up for the first time, and it was a pretty nasty fallout, as I remember. And Richard had taken it pretty badly, and him and Owen were quite close, and just dedicated it to him. This is like a big up, you know what I mean? As he faced the sun, he cast no shadow. Around the time of Definitely Maybe, but it got bumped for Digsy's Dinner, because I think Digsy's Dinner sounded better live, because it's a less complicated song. But it was again, it's got great words. I don't know how I've come up with that shit. I don't know how I've come up with that. Like, it's kind of like The Importance of Being Idle in its 60s-ness, and it's got a definite kind of story, and it's very Britpop. And listening to Liam hit those high notes was like, wow. Like I say, we weren't snobs. You know, it's like when I would play people cigarettes and alcohol for the first time, and they'd say, "It sounds like T-Rex." I'm like, no shit, does it? Fuck off. What? No way, I'd never noticed that. You know, aren't those two chords the same as Imagine? No shit. You can't do that. I can, and I will, and I have, and you'll buy it. So fuck off. I can, and I will, and I have, and you'll buy it. So fuck off. On the Definitely Maybe tour, I've met this girl in America. When we would meet, she would say, "Hey, what's the story, Morning Glory?" Right? Now, I don't know what the fucking hell it ever meant. And I was talking to some American journalists yesterday, and I said, "What does it mean?" They're like, "Well, I've never heard it before." I was like, well, I thought it was like an American, like top of the morning to you. You know what I mean? Something like that. Again, I thought, what's the story, Morning Glory? And I shoehorned it into that tune. Why it's ended up as the title of the album, I don't know. I do remember writing that fucking line, "All your dreams are made when you change the mirror and the razor blade," in this room. I've listened to it today feeling like I sound like I was just in the zone there, where it was just like everything that I was writing was meaningful. That transition from Morning Glory to Champagne Supernova, where there's that helicopter and then it gets onto water lapping on a beach. I was trying to put, I don't know why that is, but I would have had some kind of fucking, of why that is. The gigs on that Morning Glory tour used to start with the helicopter sound. They were like spine-tingling fucking moments. Because as soon as it came on, I don't know, yeah, you can feel like, you know, something's about to happen, you know what I mean? Yeah, it's that tension in it, but yeah, I was big into sound effects then. I get why it fucks with people now, that album. I can get it now if you're 14 now listening to it, because there's nothing for a 14-year-old kid who's into rock and roll to get his teeth into today. There's nothing, and even the bands that do play guitars, they're not fucking doing stuff like that. It kind of dawned on me today for the first time in 25 years.